Hi everyone, Matt Bernier, Mike Beard taking a look at the Sunday DRF Formulator race of the day. It's the Oklahoma Derby. It's a grade 3 event for 3-year-olds from Remington Park. Let's take a look at the field. If you're following along at home, head over to the Race of the Day page. You can get the free Formulator Pass performances and handicap with us. The number 1, Mike, is Altito. This is a horse that, as far as the main contenders in this race are concerned, he looks like he's a little bit slow.
He's a little bit slow. He is, they're going to take a shot here in a graded stakes race. I guess they're doing it at the right time. He's in pretty good form right now, but boy, he looks like they found this is a pretty tough spot for a horse like him.
It'd be one thing if there was one horse that maybe that needed to stub its toe that you could overcome. There's a couple of good ones in here, so I think he's a little bit up against it. The 2 is B Squared for Doug O'Neill, coming in from the West Coast. I think he's a nice little horse. I just wonder, boy, they've thrown him into some really tough spots, and now he gets blinkers for the first time.
Yeah, he is a pretty nice horse. I like the races that he's run overall. It's just, when you start going through the last 3, the 3 graded stakes tries, I mean, he's run well on a couple of them, but he's just found horses too tough. And unfortunately for him, one of those came against Battle of Midway, who he's going to see against here. And I'll tell you what, he took a crack at Battle of Midway that day. He wasn't good enough, so he's going to have to find a way to sort of close the gap on that horse.
The blinkers going on, that's a formulator fact that we have for Doug O'Neill. It's not necessarily a positive one, but it's a small sample size. Past 5 years, first time blinkers in a graded stakes event. Over 12, only 2 of them have hit the board. You brought up Battle of Midway. He's the morning line favorite. He's 2-1 for Jerry Hollendorfer. Last time out in the Shared Belief Stakes, he went off as the 3-1 kind of co-third choice. You had a couple of horses that were taking money in there. I think the important thing was the blinkers went on for the first time, and in my opinion, that was far and away the best race of his career.
Yeah, I agree with that. He was pretty impressive in that race. I mean, he just took that 3-wide track and trip. I guess they just didn't really bet him in there. Maybe because he was so disappointed in the Haskell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. They just sort of, they didn't really go for him last time. But boy, I tell you what, he looked awful good in that race. And listen, maybe it was as simple as putting the blinkers on him, but whatever it was, that was a career best performance for this horse.
Highest last out buyer in the field with a 101. Highest last out time form US rating with a 124. The number 4 is McCormick for Ian Wilkes. Witham Thoroughbreds. This is an interesting enough horse where I kind of thought that he was going to be something. The Iowa Derby, I liked him a little bit, and I thought he was all out, and it wasn't one of the most visually impressive races you've ever seen. And then what happened in the West Virginia Derby?
Yeah, I don't know. We have a couple of horses exiting that West Virginia Derby, B Squared as well. Just didn't do any running at all. I guess you don't want to be too hard on him for it. On the other hand, boy, you hate to take a horse coming out of a performance like that. He should be a pretty big price in here. I feel like you like him a little bit as a horse. I agree with you. I think he's pretty good. I'm hoping he can turn it around because he's run some pretty good races, and I still think he has some upside still.
I wonder if he's going to be that kind of horse that it's going to take him some time to put it all together.
Yeah, he might need a few more races. I'd still like to see them go back to turf with him at some point down the line. So I like his turf races.
The number 5 is Untrap for Steve Asmussen. We talked a little bit yesterday when we first saw the PPs. This is a really nice horse. I don't have any knock about him. He goes out there and tries. The biggest problem I have is I don't think he wants any part of the distance.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he is a nice horse. One of the better, this isn't a great 3-year-old crop. He's probably one of the better 3-year-olds. He just doesn't want to go this far. I don't know why they keep doing this. Turn this horse back. He could actually win some races.
Now, the interesting thing about this race, I think the 6 and the 7, Gato del Oro and Colonel's Dark Temper, that's when we need to start talking about the pace scenario in this race because they both figure to be forwardly placed. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for the Oklahoma Derby. It looks like those are going to be the 2 horses that go out there and set the fractions.
Right.
Gato del Oro, he most recently was 0 match whatsoever for Battle of Midway. Colonel's Dark Temper, 2-back. He won the West Virginia Derby in gate-to-wire fashion. But I have to be honest, the Pennsylvania race at Parks when he ran in the Smarty Jones, he was really, really poor that day. Do you view either one of them as a contender, or do you just think that they're the ones that cut out the fractions?
Well, I kind of don't want Colonel's Dark Temper. I feel like, the Smarty Jones, I don't think he necessarily ran that much worse than he had been running in his prior 2 races. I just think he ran into a real good horse there, and I think it showed. He's not that kind of a horse. His races 2 and 3 back are fine. I don't think they're going to get it done in this race, and I think he's maybe more of a pace factor as far as Gato del Oro goes. I mean, listen, he's pretty lightly raced for a good trainer, and I know he was no match for Battle of Midway last time, but this horse has some upside. To me, he's not impossible to get a pretty big piece of this race.
Especially if you think he's going to work out a forwardly placed sort of position in a race that maybe lacks a little bit of speed. The other big name in here, other than Battle of Midway, is the outside runner, number 8, Gervin, for Joe Sharp. He won the Haskell 2 starts back in a race where the pace melted down. I don't think you wanted to be anywhere near the front end there. And he came back in the Travers. Can you just draw a line through it? Can you forgive him that? Because he really never ran.
No, he didn't run at all in there. That was a pretty poor performance. I guess the question you have to ask yourself is how much much do you want to hold it against him? I mean, did you think he could win the Travers? And if you did, how disappointed were you in that race? Because at the end of the day, outside of the Derby and the Travers, this horse does nothing but run good races, and he's plenty fast enough to win this race, and he's a pretty good horse. Do I prefer Battle of Midway to him? Yeah, I do, but I won't be surprised when Gervin beats him.
Let's see who we decided to land on for the Grade 3 Oklahoma Derby. Mike and I are both going to go with Battle of Midway, chalking it out, but we both kind of look at it and say maybe he's just the best horse, and this is the time for him.
Yeah, maybe the best horse, maybe he gets the best trip, and maybe this is where he can just back up that big race last time and sort of take another step forward.
We'll find out if he can continue on second time with the blinkers for Jerry Hollendorfer and company. If you're playing the Sunday Formulator races of the day from home, check out DRF Bets. There's a new sign-up offer for new subscribers, $300 sign-up bonus. DRF.com/fall is the address, and the promo code is fall300. Race 11 at Remington Park Sunday night. It is the Formulator race of the day. Scheduled post time is 7:46 Central. Best of luck.